Put my pocket. No. So where did I put that? Oh, okay. Wow. Hey, I'm back. So I don't know where I put that plaque, but I've got one, which is the main thing. So, you're definitely not under there. Yes, we have 2 people. Get in. So, title, what is gannin on? Newcastle United. I don't believe it. You know, I mean, I'm hearing things about PSR, FFP, thought we're clear. That's the miss key there. Yeah, so Matty Renton is currently on the television in the bedroom. He's having his weekly podcast, and he's got this this pale ale. They're doing a giveaway, this pale ale thing, and reminded me of back in the day. I think pale ale is just like, is it Newcastle Exhibition? Right. Righty-ho. Right. Notice how he always talks. Right. Okay, Benny. Okay. Okie dokes. Let's get you 30 minutes. Yeah. Whinge, 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 whinge. Whinge, 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 whinge. And whinge. You can do, yeah, everybody can do that. Dead easy. Blunted jokes. I will be in a timeout for unknown reasons. Take care, people. Right. So today, bit of a wasted day today, trying to sort something out, and I have part of it. I don't have the other bit though to connect to it, but I'm working on it. and that is for a project to help with my channel. Now, a lot of people were saying earlier, and you got it wrong. You got it wrong. 1 million subscribers in 5 months is never, ever, ever going to happen unless I win the car of my dreams from BOG TV, I think they call it, where you stick money in to buy a car. And or I have an extremely large win on the lottery. So, because if I did, then I probably would go and get the car that I want and then stream from it. So, the million, which I was talking about in the post, was this. We are 2025, 2030 is the target. And if by then I hit that target, then I'm going to phone up the people at the job centre in town, go in, speak to them, and turn around and just say to them, do you remember when you said to me that YouTube isn't a job? And if they say, yeah, say, well, it is now. That was my whole point, to say to them, because I went through the process of getting to 1,000 subscribers, and now I'm well clear of that. And the mission is we grow the channel by music. Newcastle United, who are currently in turmoil because you have lots and lots of reports about Alexander Isak wanting A, B, or C in wage. And yeah. Can we see your view from the window? Oh, it looks decent. Yeah. 1 second. 1 second. Right. You ready? So that's where you can see out of the window at the back farm. And eventually, at some point, I want to be able to do that. Instead of looking at somebody else's farm, did that myself. Turmoil, 6 weeks left in the window, and Kovo, Gordon Bennett, man. It's like, as I was thinking this earlier, a manager gets paid more money than we do. A CEO gets paid more money than we do. And they can't sort stuff out. Yeah, Blunt Ted is right. It is absolutely wonderful. The best part about living here is this. Certain time of night, roughly about 5 or thereabouts, all you can hear is the thoughts racing around in here. Or you can hear the odd bird. Or the peacock. Because there are 2 peacocks in the village. Who is responsible for the state of the garden? Sadly, me. Yes, me. And I have a petrol strimmer. However, it starts for a few moments, then cuts out. And then it'll start again half an hour later, and then cut out again. So it needs to be looked at properly. Do you think you'd make a good CEO? I would hope so. I think I would be a person who you could talk to, who you could come up to with a problem. Get to see the stars at night as well? No, no. It's not one of those places like Kielder where it's pitch black at night. It's not that. Why do live streams from the garden, Paul? Not nice out there. Well, I have done and I will do, but once I get somewhere better. Can you interview the peacocks? Says Vivian. I had a peacock jump from a roof and it landed right next to us. And the lad who I was talking to went, I have never seen you jump so high. And I went, look at the size of that thing. Because they're big. You know, the head, the neck goes just over your waist. So it's some size. Why, Paul, why are you planning on selling? I am not. I would. That's what I said a long time ago. One thing is never, ever for sale. And that is your information. And it stays that way. Keen is saying there's evidence. Well, I will ask those on the other side to look into it, because there's tests and tests. And just today I saw something yesterday and I was like, wow, okay, didn't expect that. And what I saw was this. Somebody was talking about an American. We're British, yeah, but somebody was talking about an American, and the channel was Squawk Box. And they were saying about Trump, as in his coin. And he has done fabulously with it, where other ones, Pep, Bonk, and others have not. Some are trying their best to rise up, but the Trump one has claimed, and currently it is £8, which is reasonably good. Do you prefer American or European ladies? I am not bothered, David, as long as they are, well, good looking. Benny will be upset, Paul, you have kicked out so early. The thing is this, right? He had a position. Okay, he had a position. And if I'm telling you you've got a position, and I'm telling you you're skating on thin ice, come back to safety. sensible at the end of the day. And that's my point. If you don't come back to safety, you're going to slide and go through the ice. And as many people will tell you, if you skate on ice and you fall, you know what? You know something, yeah. I had this ages and ages ago. Bye. People coming in claiming to be something you are not. Why do it? Does it impress all of your mates? Huh? Does it impress all of your mates? Yeah, Benny's been timed out. Basically, he was whinging on. Whinging. Now, what I'm looking at doing is I'm going to be testing over the next couple of days, non-stop crash testing. It's like, the crash test dummies. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that. They're going to be fed up with me. Those Lovable and the other one, they're going to be absolutely fed up. But it's got to be done. Because there's another thing I want added. But you're asking your bias AI that doesn't have the ability to test. Sorry to burst your bubble. Really, really sorry to pop your bubble. But it does have the ability to test. And what I'll say to you is this. If you're talking about artificial intelligence that build, go and do some homework and then come and have a word. Do a little bit of homework first, because one of these artificial intelligence things called windsurf has just done a merger. And there's another merger on the horizon. They only merge to become bigger. That's the whole point of doing a merger. You both make more money. Gee, I am a software developer. Good for you. Good for you. But what you've got to understand is this. There are certain AI, and I'll name one, just one. It's called Bolt.new. And that hallucinated. David is saying, Paul, would you call in Talksport this evening and have a word with Jamie O'Hara? He has said no big player wants to live in Newcastle. Well, those at Talksport, they've got an agenda. What? Inu is saying, Paul, honestly, why don't you take free advice from a professional expert? Inu, right? What month are we in? What month are we in right now? And what's the date? Because I remember asking for assistance to GitHub, to Superbase in March and in April. I physically made a request saying, I need help. Where was the help? People turned around the other day. Bok was one of them. Turned around and says, There's nothing in the files. And then I go onto the computer and I'm showing you JSON after JSON after Vite after React, all that. I didn't create it. I can't create what I don't understand. Yeah? Do you follow that one? I can't create a JavaScript typed script because I don't know how it is constructed. But I did show the clean version bit by bit the other night. Bok is here. Okay, Paul, listen. The thing you showed us wasn't even there in March. There was something there, and that something was from Bolt. Because it said at the top, underlined, Bolt. And I gave access to Superbase at the same time. Dan got access, and at least four people, possibly 5 people had access because I granted that access. Now, I'm going to be honest with you at the end of the day. Yeah. I was disappointed. But if you can't do what the job is, if you can't do it, you can't do it. Yeah. Now, the other day when I was showing you the clean version, that clean version has many components to it. And yes, I don't understand those components because I haven't got to that stage of the lesson, i.e., I was in HTML5 nearly almost at the exam, which was deemed putting it all together, which was roughly, I think, 30 plus different parts of HTML. Now, that email they sent me, I haven't clicked on that email, but I'm going to first thing in the morning because last night I was watching the England game, which, although it was in a foreign language, it was a good game. Yeah. Oh. So, what else we got? And Benny is back out. Joko, what was Joko saying? HTML course won't help at all if you're getting. No, I was in the beginning. The course is Web Development 3.0, and I got to all the way through to 2 parts. One was audio and video test, and then the second one was putting it all together. It wouldn't allow me to open them because it was saying the web page was deactivated. So I can't do what's been deactivated. 36 in chat. Yeah, Steve, that's the thing. Because this is one of the points. I was in Loaded Mag yesterday, Loaded Mag NUFC. I was also in young Matty Renton's the other day. Lots of people in there, but nobody doing that. And it doesn't cost you. There is no fee at all. The only fees I have is tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And that is for later on in the year when the content changes. So it'll be behind the scenes. But we couldn't work with nothing. You can't work with nothing. Okay. Thomas didn't have the access to them. Everybody who sent me an email gained access. Everybody. I think it's 5 people. Think. Now, with the apps, crash test all the way through, do the shooter-based payment, get them .org.co.uk, and then get the other one bang up to date. And the thing I was trying to show you this morning, do that so that eventually I can get a car, a driver, somebody to hold the camera so I can be hands-free, and possibly somebody to edit content of videos. And that's going to come from what I was showing you this morning. Now, my hope, like I said to those people who are building the apps, 10,000, 100,000, working your way up to 1 million per app. Then the money that's coming in from small, medium-sized companies, that helps to pay for wages. And both or 3 of them will be fully registered. Which means, like I was saying to Ray, my neighbour, I've asked him to have a look for an accountant that's local and a firm of legal people, i.e. solicitors. So everything is transparent. And that's the way I want to go. I want to stay within the rules set by the FCA, Smart Scam, because it's the same thing, and those down in London. What would you be instructing? I want to be covered legally for these apps. That's it. And there's something I'm not going to do it tonight. I might do it in the morning. Is one vital change to the apps. Hi, Thomas, Paul. Here's my final offer. I will make the apps for you if you listen to me no merger. I'm just making them for you. Here's the thing, Thomas. There's two and a half ready to be deployed fully with .org and .co.uk. Now, I know you've got a lot of work. You have a mountain of work with Sunderland Nation. And as I said to you in the email, well done. Because that's your baby now. And Jay is saying no backend, no app. That's what Superbase is, Jay. Superbase is the back end. What are your fees for this, Thomas? Says David. You see, the thing I'm looking at, well, I showed you this morning, right? That is to create something, and that is going to give me kind of pocket money, but that's just for YouTube. Just only for YouTube. And I don't think anybody else has done it. Superbase, Jay is saying Superbase is a back end. Well done. Okay. It says SQL, then it says database, then it says something else. And whoa, Thomas, I'd be doing it for free. I'm fed up with hearing. It'll be. I can't help that, Thomas, because there's a problem. Universal credit only pay a person once. You don't get it twice or a third. You get once. So I can't help that. How are you going to configure Superbase? Is what Jay is asking. Part 2 of his question. So I looked at a few different videos on how to build SQL with the fields, the IDs, breaking it into little components. And that reminded me of Excel years and years ago, where you've got this graph along with all of these different fields at the top, names downside, and information in all of the cells. Would that be kind of the right sort of thing, Jay? Paul, it's a container for backend who's configuring you. Thomas may do it, but if you're not too proud, what's all this? What's all this? Look, the end of the day, yeah? This should have been done. It could have been done in March. It could have been done before my birthday. My 58th birthday. It could have been done. But guess what? Guess what the home truth is? It wasn't. You see, when you give somebody the key to your house, i.e., like you turn around and say, I'm gonna be half an hour, mate. Just let yourself in, make yourself a cuppa, yeah? Tea, coffee, sugar and all the rest of it. Five people, had access. What were they doing? Playing tiddlywinks? Huh? Or sitting there in the corner playing a game of poker with cards? Because you see, the point is this, right? I'm coming at this problem. Can you see that? Can you see that little gap? That little tiny gap? Yeah? Can you see that? That's my information. I'm interested, but that's my information because HTML5, CSS, Python, SQL, JavaScript, there might even be more. I lost count. But I was in HTML5. You all know that because I've had videos showing you HTML5. And Facebook has, when I have passed a test, to say to somebody, an adult out there in the big wide world, I know note about what I'm doing, but at least I'm trying something. And here's me results. I'm using a college where the college might as well be on the moon. And when I mean the moon, I mean the dark side of the moon. Because you can't email them, you know, like trying to get through to an instructor. The instructor might as well be on holiday on bloody Mars. Because even though I'm highlighting at and hashtag their name, has come back. Not a thing. So that's why the other day when that email came in, turned around and said, "You've done 15% of your Udemy." I didn't jump straight onto it because, in all truth and honesty, I've lost faith in Udemy. The other one, which was no code camp or whatever the hell it was. It's on the laptop. That did not use VS Code, and I was used to VS Code. Takes a while to get used to VS Code, but I was there. But because it didn't do that, I was like, where, how do I do this? How do I do that? So yes, complex. However, in a few days' time, .org.co.uk, and if we're lucky, we'll have a .com as well. I haven't had an email. I'll ring the college in the morning to say no emails about meeting the tutor. Can you please chase it up? Also, I'll say it to the person when I'm talking to them on the phone. Your concerns, because they are your concerns about funding. So yes, what was that one? What was that one? What was that? You need to start listening to experts in chat. 5 people you give access to told you there was nothing. There was nothing. That's my point. There wasn't nothing there. GitHub is a library. That's all it is. It's just a library where academic people post their stuff too. They post it there and people can have a look at it. And these, like the Bolton U, etc., that was there. It wouldn't have all of those side bits down here. It wouldn't have all of them if there's nothing in them. It's a waste of time and space to put all of them down the side and have nothing in them, because it's just gibberish. So, yeah, interesting few days. Thomas, I'm going to message you first thing tomorrow morning, and we're going to do a video call. Okay. Now, you also will be finding out in the next few days something that ties everything together. So, lots and lots of stuff, man. Lots and lots of stuff. So at the moment, what I'm trying to do is put money into my Phantom to put money from the Phantom into this other thing. That's what I've been trying to do all damn day. And I am very, very miffed at Coinbase. I'm furious with Coinbase. One thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be having boxes. So in chat will be a link. That link will take you to StreamYards, and you come into a box, and we're going to have a good chat for maybe 2 hours. Thomas, I've been saying to you is this. Ages and ages ago, I heard about GitHub. I created an account there. I've done little bits and pieces in GitHub to do with projects that are gigantic. Gigantic, Thomas. Much bigger than Seeking You and much bigger than Geordie Nation. But they're in the same location. Same as the stuff that is on WX network. That is the gigantic stuff. And that's what I was saying to you, Thomas, in the email. Where's the core? It did have stuff in. It did. Now, one thing, right? If I'm looking at file after file after file after file, from config files to Vite files to React files, I don't know any of this information. I don't know any of this. None. Not a squeeze. But if I'm looking at this React, Vite, Vibe, CSS, Tailwind, Python, if I'm looking at that, that tells me there's something there. So we've got Daz in here. I also have photo evidence you didn't attend any. Do you know one thing, right? One thing, yeah? Where is he? Daz. I worked for a company. That company drives past St. James's Park every moment of the day. Sunday through to Saturday. And they have 2 depots. One is called Walkergate and the other is called Slatyfoot. I used to get tickets from the union by simply turning up to a union meeting, putting my name in a bowl, and if you got lucky, your name came out of the bowl. So don't turn around and say to me that under the person who previously owned Newcastle United, I didn't attend games. Because there's one game I did attend, and that was the final game when Newcastle were promoted. And she was sitting right next to me. We saw that trophy lifted up on the pitch, knowing we were going back into the Premier League. So, Daz, I know what you're doing, what your mission is, but your mission has just kind of slid down a deep slope and smashed into a brick wall. I've been going to games at St. James's Park since I was a young kid. My first ever game at St. James's Park, I was in the Leazes End. And I got drenched. The heavens opened and I got drenched. I heard the noise coming from the other side of the stadium and I wanted to be there. That's called the Gallagher. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, of course I am, Callum. Of course I am, yeah. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, where are you? There you go, Callum. Little wind-up merchant. Little wind-up merchant. What has changed about Newcastle since the stadium? Because used to go to up the Gallagher or into the stadium, and if it was a changeable day, you were drenched to the bone. And the stadium's gone through many changes. I wanted, when they did the Gallagher, I wanted them to carry it on higher up, but he decided no. Abe, Paul never went to. Yeah, of course. I'll look at it. Yeah, Thomas, I'll look at it. Yeah, do you know the thing is? Totally, utterly. You're trying to say lots of things. You're trying to say it. But you know the thing is, when I was a driver, and it was a game at home, and it was, if I was working that day, swap the shift. Still went, and being in the noisy part, which is the east corner, that is noisy. And you keep getting the bloke turn around and say to people, "Oh, do you want to sit down?" No, and stand against this wall. But even that has changed, because now you have standing again. So yes, amazing things. Now we've got days and days and days of testing. Crash test every day until something breaks. Fix it, break it again, make it better. So there we go. Thank you all for coming in. Much appreciated. Keen, the best thing I can say to you is this: go find yourself another YouTube channel. Simple as. Because I've got to the point now where you think I'm doing that, your comment will not be read. End of. So see you all 11:30 in the morning. Be there or be square. And on your way out, smash that and let's grow.